Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. My name's Trish. I'm excited, really excited today to talk to you about the topic that I've chosen. It's one that I think we're all vaguely aware of. It's kind of the elephant in the room, and that's that there are three types of network marketers. The first makes up about 80% of the field. And you can change from any one of these to any one of these at any time. So don't feel like you're pigeonholed into any particular group. But 80% of the market is made up of what Eric Worre affectionately calls posers. It's people that are posing as network marketers, but they come in with a mindset that basically says, I have 3 or 4, maybe 5 or 6, if I'm being really on top of it, but people in my mind that I know they're going to build this with me, and I only need 4. So when they do this, I'm going to make $1 million. And if they don't do it, maybe it's not for me. And they put all their hopes and dreams on somebody else. They might even not talk to that many. They might talk to 1 or 2, or they might just be thinking of 3 or 4 and never take action. That is what 80% of the field is made up of. So the next is amateurs. Amateurs make a list. They do what they're asked to do. They make a list of maybe 100 names, and they're taking them off their phone. They're putting them on paper. They're doing all the right things. And then they run out there with excitement, but no skill level. So they're passion on fire, but really don't know what they're doing, and pretty soon they're dwindling through their list, and before they know it, there's very few people left, and they're starting to question whether they can do this or not. They're questioning whether this industry is for them or not. That's an amateur stance. Professionals make the list and then gain the skills and keep adding to the list. The list never dwindles. They learn to add to the list every single day and keep that list growing. I didn't realize this was a thing, but we've been doing this accidentally for years. I have a file that's probably about that thick, that's business cards and scraps of paper and all sorts of different contacts that I've met around the world on different trips or different places we've lived. The problem is I've missed a key step. So pros make the contacts and then stay in touch with the contacts. Most of mine are dead and cold, and it would be approached as a cold contact at this point because they don't remember meeting me on a plane 18 years ago. They really don't remember meeting me 3 months ago. So if you don't continue those relationships, then they really don't serve you. So that's a key step as well. So real professionals make the contacts and then figure out a way to just keep a relationship. They may never contact them about business, but they just keep the relationship open. I was talking with someone the other day. They knew of a professional who had a warm market base of 1,200 friends that would come at a drop of a hat and be there for that person because they had maintained those relationships. That is a skill set. It really, truly is. We're all blessed with the same 24 hours. How do we use it? How do we maintain it? It might be as simple as just a happy birthday on their birthday, but it keeps you in their life. It keeps that relationship open. And we all have that at our fingertips. If you're on Facebook, they are really good about notifying that it's these 10 people's birthday today, and you can go through and just wish them a happy birthday and stay in their life. So it doesn't have to be an hour here every week, to really cultivate a deep, but just staying with that open relationship. So if you want to be a professional, how do you create that kind of a list and maintain it? I'm going to give you 6 ideas today on how to never run out of contacts. So grab your pencil and paper. The first one is make your list. Make it an active candidate list. These are people that you know, and don't look at who they are or how, yes, you want to write down why you thought of them, but on this list, it's really just anybody and everybody that you can think of. One of the greats has said, if you think of every name that you're putting on that list as being worth $1,000 to you, how many names could you come up with? Well, that's really the truth. That person might, create $1,000 for you, or they might lead you to somebody that can create $1,000 or $1,000,000 for you. You don't know who they know. You don't know who they live by. You don't know who they're related to. You don't know where that lead could take you. So write down everybody that you can think of. If you need memory joggers, they are plentiful online. Look up memory jogger on Google and you'll get a bazillion. In the old days, we used to pull open a phone book and we'd just go down. No, we weren't writing down their names and phone numbers. We were just looking at first names. So we'd start with the A's. Okay, who do I know named Adam? Who do I know named Amanda? Who do I know named Ellis? Who do I know? And we'd just go through the A's, then we'd go through the B's. Who do we know named Brad? Who do we know named Ben? Who do we know named Brady? And we'd just go through and they would jog our memory of who we knew. So there's no reason you can't come up with 200 to 300 names. It sounds daunting if you're just thinking about off your head, but you can use memory joggers. Who do you know that's an engineer? Who do you know that's in the health practitioner industry? Who do you know that's a first responder? Who do you know that's a teacher? Who do you know that's in sales? Who do you know that owns their own business? I could go on and on and on, but pull those memory joggers up if you need them. They are plentiful. Okay, number 2 is don't prejudge. Like I said earlier, you don't know who they know. You don't know who they're connected to. We've had some surprises over and over through the years of people that we weren't sure would do anything that have led us to some of the biggest people that we've known in our downlines, in our industry, and you just don't know. I've had people that just seem very quiet and unassuming that have a brother-in-law or an uncle that's done network marketing for years and years and has made millions of dollars. And you just don't know who they know, right? So we're not prejudging, we're putting everybody on the list. Somebody on your list could lead you to $1 million. And they say that that's true of anyone who makes over a 200 name list. There's somebody on that list just mathematically that could lead you to $1 million income. Number 3 is raise your awareness. Start listening when you're out in public. Start listening when you're around people in any kind of scenario. People have a tendency, about 99% of the people around us have a tendency to air the negative. It's just human nature. We do a lot of mindset work to try and get you into that 1% so that you're seeing the positive, but it works in your favor in this case, because if you'll just listen, if you'll just become aware of what's around you, people will tell you what their pain points are. They just do. So listen, I was walking through a store a couple of weeks ago and passed 2 women talking. And they were both just as fast as they could. And this is bad in my life. And this is bad in my life. And this is bad in my life. And I couldn't help kind of chuckle because I'm like, well, we have something for that. We have something for that. And we have something for that. It was all I could do to not jump in the middle of the conversation and say, hey, there are solutions for this. Are you open? But it was awkward because they were friends and deep in conversation. They didn't know me from anybody. But I did make a point of going and finding somebody in the store and ask, do you know either of these women? Because I'm working with her towards actives. I said, they both are candidates. They both are open to finding another way. If you'll just listen, they're all around us. They say that a good professional network marketer is adding at least 2 names to their list every single day. If you live in a small town or you're not in areas where you can do that, you got to find a way. That means joining a group, figure out what hobbies you used to have and dust them off. Join a club, join a group, join a networking group. They meet for breakfast usually once a week and you'll find other entrepreneurial, business-minded people there. It's not something everybody needs to do, but it is an avenue if you're looking for ways to add to your list. And it might come from them. It might come from a conversation of saying, who do you know who? And they're going to say the same thing. Who do you know who needs a house painted? I'm a house painter. great. You can refer them some people and they might refer you some people. Who do you know that's looking for a way to be in business for themselves? Who do you know who has issues with their health that they're just not on top of, or they're sick and tired of their medication? They would like to get better balanced health. So be in front of people and put yourself into positions. That's actually number 5. They call it networking on purpose. So volunteer, put yourself out there where you're interacting with people. Join the gym. That's a great place to join. Number 1, you're going to get healthier. Number 2, you're meeting people who are on the same path that are wanting to be healthier. So you've already kind of done some of the sift and sort and found people that are open to living healthier lives. A lot of those people are entrepreneurial as well because they've set up their schedules in an ability to be able to be at the gym. That usually denotes the fact that they might be business owners or they might be, work at home people. So gyms are a great option. If you live in a small town and you can't do that because there's really nothing to join, I don't believe that, honestly. We've built businesses in some very small towns, and the last time I was in one of them, I couldn't believe how many things my host was involved in. She did water aerobics with this group in the morning, and she went walking later with this group, and then she would go volunteer down at this group, and there was this civic activity going on and that one. So I don't buy it. If you tell me there's nothing going on, I think you need to look harder because there's things going on all around us. If you don't know what is an option, go down to your city hall and ask. Oftentimes there's things going right underneath our nose and we don't know it. So if you're a pro, you don't see it as a problem, you look for solutions. Professionals are solution oriented. They don't complain, they don't make excuses, they look for solutions. They look for ways to creatively fix the problem. All right, number 6 is, let's see. Number 6 is social media. You're taking those same skill sets of listening and watching onto social media. So if you can't find people to talk to in real life that will air their issues, you're looking for people on social media that are. And social media is kind of a mixed bag because you get this perception of my life is fantastic and people are posting all the great pictures and the this and that and feeling like, they live this perfect Instagram life. But if you'll look carefully, you'll find the people that are honest, that are opening up to some of their troubles, and then you can have that conversation with them. There's a couple of things that I would suggest. Don't post it in the comments section underneath their post. Take it to an offline conversation. If you're on Facebook, you want to send them a messenger. Even in Instagram, there's a way to message them. If you have their contact information, send them a text or a phone call. Hey, I saw this on social media. I saw that this was going on. I heard that your husband had to take on a second job. Are you open to looking at something that I found that could help you make a lot of money that might be able to free him up from one of those jobs? Or I saw on social media that this person in your family is going through such and such. Are you open to looking at something that could help naturally, that won't interfere with the things the doctors are trying? But are you ready to go all at this and see if we can help make a difference? So it opens up conversation options just by seeing what we're seeing online. The other option I'm seeing with professionals is that they dig into groups online. If you don't know how to join a group civically in your local area, there's thousands and thousands of groups on Facebook and other social media outlets where you can find people that are basically already sifted and sorted for you. You can find people that are looking at specifically this disease, or entrepreneurial, or work at home groups, or networking groups. They're all over the place. So you can join those. Make sure you read the rules and guidelines that are listed on the group. A lot of them say no selling, no recruiting. So you have to then take it offline. And what I've done a couple of times is I'll find the person's name, look at their picture, and then I'll go into, say, Messenger, and I will search that person, make sure that it's the same picture, make sure it's the same person. And then I'll just reach out to them, introduce myself, let them know that I found their contact on this group. Didn't want to reach out to them in the group for, respecting that, but are they open to an offline conversation about such and such? Now, remember, on a first touch, you're not trying to explain actives. If you start throwing up all over them and trying to just give them information and they haven't asked for it, they haven't said they're open to it, it's not going to go well. They're just going to block you. They might even turn you into the group and you'll get removed. So handle it professionally. I saw this. Are you open to looking at a Zoom? Are you open to getting some more information on such and such? And then let them respond. So that's another tool. We are now surrounded with everybody in our social group, all of our normal today people that we meet and see like we always have been. But our whole world has expanded because of social media. We now have millions and millions of people that we can touch, that we can rub shoulders with. So there's really no excuse. The difference is literally just between your ears. Are you a poser in network marketing where you are showing yourself as a network marketer, but you're not talking to anybody, or you're basing your desire to build on whether they do anything or not? Remember, 80% of them aren't going to. That's a dangerous position. Or are you somebody that's an amateur that's going to just run and gun and try and do it your own way? Or are you a professional that will learn and gain some skills and talk to people with a consistent attitude of, you can't say enough of the wrong things to the right person, and you can't say enough of the right things to the wrong person, so it doesn't matter. You're going to go out and you're going to learn what works, what doesn't work, and then take it to the next person and take it to the next person. And eventually you're going to get better and better until you're great. But every person who's great started out bad. Every person who's wonderful started out falling on their face. A lot of the leaders talk about falling forward all the way to the top. However you get there is how you get there. But if you have it in your mindset that you're a limited visitor, you're never going to create a business. If you're committed to this and you're committed to the long haul, then make the list, talk to the people. They will sift and sort themselves, because it's not a case of whether they're open or looking. It's a case of whether they're open or looking right now. Doesn't every single person that you want or that you know want better health and better finances? That's kind of a no-brainer question. Everybody we know would love to have health of a teenager or a 20-something, and they would love to have financial money coming in, passive income coming in week after week, month after month. But what they don't have is the time and the focus right now sometimes. And so we have to sift and sort through the people that are ready right now. And sometimes it's a case of they had a bad day at work and they're sick and tired of their boss saying that thing to them, and they've had it. And if you find them right at that moment, they're open. Whereas the day before, they might not have been. So it's all about timing. They might have had a conversation with a spouse the night before. You don't know. Maybe they're sick and tired of this and that, and something's got to give. Something's got to change, and then here you come. Maybe they've been praying for something, and here you come. Some people are just not ready. And in that case, we put them back into the list and we circle back around. If we ever do circle back around, most of mine, I never circle back around because I'm moving on. My list is so long. I'm just moving on to the next. So it's all about that what if that we've heard talked about, right? It's a fine line. It's that fine thread that if people get it or they don't, it can change their life forever. So don't be afraid to just go through the numbers. There's thousands and thousands of people out there that only you can touch. And if you work this right, you'll never run out of names. Thanks for being with us. Have a great Saturday. This is it for this pod.